Madam Speaker, I have now written Attorney General Eric Holder on 4 occasions asking for an explanation of the dismissal of an important voter intimidation case, U.S. versus new Black Panther Party. To date, the answers provided are scant and in at least one important regard, factually inaccurate. In 1981, I was the only member, Republican or Democrat, of the Virginia delegation in the House to vote for the Voting Rights Act and was harshly criticized by the editorial page of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. And when I supported the Act's reauthorization in 2006, I was again criticized by editorial pages. My commitment to voting rights is unquestioned. It is imperative that we protect all Americans' right to vote. This is a sacred and inalienable right of any democracy. This new Black Panther Party case was brought in January by career attorneys in the Department of Civil Rights Division against the party and several of its members for deploying uniformed men to a polling station in Philadelphia on Election Day last November to harass and intimidate voters, one of whom brandished a nightstick to voters. The public and every member, if they care, can view video of the incident as well as other examples of the party's intimidation in a clip from National Geographic Channel documentary titled Coming to a Polling Place Near You, posted on the web. And it can be seen at www.electionjournal.org. That's www.electionjournal.org. One of the witnesses of the Election Day incident, Bartle Bull, a veteran civil rights activist who served as Bobby Kennedy's New York campaign manager in 1968, has publicly called this the most, quote, blatant form of voter intimidation he has ever seen. He also reminded us that, quote, Martin Luther King did not die to have people in jackboots with billy clubs block the doors of polling places, and neither did Robert Kennedy. It's an absolute disgrace, end quote. In July, the Washington Times reported that improper political influence by Associate Attorney General Thomas Pirelli led to the dismissal of the case, a politicizing of career employees. This inexplicable dismissal came over the objections of career attorneys on the trial team, as well as the department's own appeal office, which advised that the complaint was, quote, sufficient to support the injunctions, end of quote, sought by the career lawyers, and that the, quote, government's predominant interest in preventing intimidation, threats, and coercion against voters, end of quote. Despite this guidance urging the department pursue a judgment in this case, it was dismissed in May over the career attorney's objections. However, this unjustified dismissal has not gone unnoticed. I work with the Judiciary Committee Ranking Member Lamar Smith to demand answers from Attorney General Holder. I am pleased that the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights has also taken note of the case. The Commission has an important statutory responsibility to investigate voting rights deprivation and make appraisals of federal policy to enforce federal voting rights laws. Congress instilled this independent oversight responsibility of the Commission in statute that says all federal agencies fully cooperate with the Commission to the end that it may effectively carry out its functions and duties. The Commission has written Attorney General Holder on June 16th, June 22nd, August 10th, requesting answers of the dismissal. It also voted at a September meeting to make its review of the case the primary focus of the 2009 independent report. Earlier today, the Commission sent a 4th letter to Attorney General Eric Holder, which I submit for the record, reiterating its request for information, asking him to respond no later than October 14th, or it will proceed with an investigation using its statutory authorities. I applaud the Commission. I call on Attorney General Holder to answer the questions posed in my letters dated June 8, July 17, July 22nd, and July 31, as well as comply with the Commission's request for information so it may complete its report. I also urge the Attorney General to allow members of Congress to meet with the career attorneys on the trial team and appeal the body so that they may answer legitimate questions. Again, if members of Congress want to see the case that Eric Holder has dropped, just go to www.electionjournal.org. It's a National Geographic channel, and you'll see Eric Holder has to start answering the letters that the Civil Rights Commission sends and members to send. And with that, I yield back to balance my time.
The speaker recognizes Mr. Pence of Indiana for 5 minutes.